Recon Athlete Podcast is brought to you by Kreitz Market, The Social, and Focus Fit San Marcos. Happy Leap Year Day, y'all. Is it Leap Day or Leap Year Day? Or what is it?
Man, I didn't even know you were coming with that this morning. I had no clue what it is.
It's Leap Day. It's February 29th, 2020.
All I know is I watched a program from Neil deGrasse Tyson on YouTube, and he talks about how like the prior to the Gregorian Catholic Church coming in and revamping the calendar, we were all off. We had like so many extra days that Neil deGrasse Tyson basically pays homage to the Catholic Church for having the Gregorian monks come in and like revamp the calendar and like build in a leap day every 4 years to like reset the calendar so that we're all, I guess, in line with the solstice. Okay. So it's pretty dope. Good find. YouTube, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Gregorian calendar. That'd be a dope thing to watch today, being February 29th. Leap day, leap year.
Yeah. And this is episode 56, Recon Athlete, Chris Sanchez, Zach Lucero, Paul Rodriguez. I'm going to try to get my watch party started here.
I just totally came up with that on top of my head because you just said like, oh, is it leap day or leap year? I was like, well, I do have this in the memory bank. Let's fire this off real quick.
So, and you mentioned, the Catholic Church and monks. It is also Lenten season.
Word.
Did you go get your ashes, Zach? There you go.
Yeah, my office is right across from that church downtown. So me and my boss just walked across for lunch.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's cool. That's good, man. That's good. What'd you give up? Did you give up anything?
Being mean to Paul.
Oh man, you already lost that, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Word.
You can start over though.
Yeah, I'm having to start over every day
Sunday. Yeah. It's just, hey man, it's all about repenting and forgiveness.
Yeah. You know what I gave up? No, I put it on Facebook. Did y'all see?
No.
Worrying.
But I don't believe that.
Dude, I'm a freaking worry wart.
What'd you give up, Paul? Black shirts?
Booze.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I should have done that.
Yeah.
I guess I could start.
I've been weaning myself off like
maybe
for about
tomorrow.
a week and a half.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what like when we were at when we went to your party, I was DD, so I made sure like I was like, okay, bro, you can't drink. And plus I was like, had Stefano with me, and so I had to take him back down to Kyle from, what were we, North Central Austin? Yeah. So that's a good hike. I mean, it's a solid 35-minute drive without traffic in Austin, Texas.
Shout out to James Etheridge getting on our watch party. He says, shout out to White Jesus.
Blue eyes.
He's hilarious.
That's not funny.
Man, it is.
It is.
Man, come on, bro.
It is.
It is, but it isn't. Some people think, But anyways, also I want to shout out to Francesca, our cousin, because she is expecting.
Oh, I was gonna say, did something happen and I didn't know about?
Well, we don't know. I'm not sure yet. She posted late last night that baby June could be coming.
I saw that,
and I was like, I personally think that a leap year baby would be pretty cool. To be a leap year baby. Mm-hmm. What is your opinion? What is see, you're already saying no. Zach, what do you think about that? Being a leap year baby.
I think it'd be cool. It's something different. But right? But it's only February.
What do you mean?
Isn't the baby called June?
Yeah, I know. And that's what
I'm going to, the baby's due date is in March, and so I'm just going to call the baby March.
Oh, okay.
I think the baby's name, the middle name should be June, and the first name should be Around.
Around June?
Yeah.
But I personally thought being a leap year baby would be cool. I've had a couple of opinions. One being Sylvia, my coworker, and the other being Michelle, and they both said the same thing. That would suck. They said they were like, no, that would not be.
You were tripping out trying to decide what weekend to celebrate your birthday on. Your birthday's on a regular day.
Yeah, that's true. But then I also said, okay, well, if it's February 29th, then you get to pick February 28th or March 1st. And then, you might have 2 birthday months. Maybe you can do both. Nah.
Okay.
Nah. Okay. What, Snoop, you got an opinion on this?
No, I just said pocket quarterbacks or mobile quarterbacks.
We should have just take this mic all the way to the.
I bet it would reach.
Into the green room.
I bet it would reach.
We just need we need a mic to go to the
and
green
just
room.
turn it off and let them turn it on and off whenever he has something to say.
We'll put a camera in there in the corner and we'll just give
I think just the mic, so you don't even see him, you just hear him talk.
I think Snoop got a little taquerito over there.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 56. Chris Sanchez, Zach Lucero, Paul Rodriguez, Snoop Daniel over in the green room. We're going to talk a little bit of Combine and too early top 25 talk for Longhorns and Aggies. Did you guys watch any of the Combine, first of all?
Yep.
You've been watching it?
Yeah, man, because when I'm doing that OT at the house, I got that straight just on the phone here. Whoa, we're just hold on real quick.
Yeah.
There we go.
Keep going. You going to try to make it reach?
Well, we're snagged up real quick.
I don't know if it's going to reach, guys.
I think it might.
Let me have that. We're just
let's see it. Let's see. We're experimenting on air here. Let's see if we can get
this untangled.
Man, it shouldn't be tangled.
Chris, did you watch any of the Combine?
I watched a little bit last night.
Here?
No,
Or on your phone?
Me and Snoop went up to Revelry to eat.
They had it on at Revelry?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, wait, random tangent.
Yeah.
The Texas baseball is playing in this like baseball classic.
The Shriners Classic?
Right.
Yeah.
We should have gone. Actually, we all should have gone.
Yeah, that's true.
You won't even go to a game with me down the street, so never mind.
Let's see.
I'll go to that. Oh yeah, get it, Paul.
It's on TV, but AT&T Sportsnet. What even is that?
I have no clue.
Then that's like good games.
I was looking for it on Longhorn Network last night when I got home.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna reach.
Yeah. No. It's pretty good. Okay, so all we need is so I'm gonna go to Guitar Center today and get a little extension cord.
How long do you think this one is?
This is about 15 feet.
This is great content right here.
It is. Everybody's interested to see if we can get a microphone over into the green room. Great content.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave it on the whole time, Paul.
It's not even on now.
Yeah, but I don't want him to have to get up to turn it on.
Put the microphone stand over there. What are we doing? Sorry, everybody that's on the watch party. Shout out to Mara, Coach Gutman. Warren's on there. Panas, Anthony Lopez. Hey, Sandy McElroy. Sandy, hey, man, I still need to hit you up, man. I've been busy with my birthday weekend or birthday month.
It ain't been his birthday forever.
And it's been my
He's
birthday
lying.
month.
He's
Yeah,
lying
yeah.
to you.
No,
He's ignoring you.
No, I am not. Dude, I'm not going to.
Chris didn't give up alcohol, so that's where he's been.
I'm not going to ignore a legend like Sandy McElroy. I'm going to hit you up on Monday because we need to figure out whether Wednesday or Saturday is better for Sandy to join us. Also, he's got some lighting he wants to hook us up with, and we really need to get with Sandy, man.
Quit ignoring him.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I know. I got a lot of things going on. Things have been crazy.
He's ignoring me.
No, nothing's been going on. You have been crazy. You need to reword your things. The things you say.
I mean, guilty as charged, bro. Guilty as charged. So, we're gonna get Sandy McElroy in here, and check out the Sandy Show podcast. It's him and his wife. It's good, man. It's 30 minutes of really good content, so you can go check that out. And
that's almost like us. We're an hour and a half of mediocre content.
I know, right?
So maybe
we'll
we
get
just
there.
shorten it down.
We shorten it down. We need to get shorted down to like 30 minutes of really great content. Definitely.
If only we had an editor.
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
Producer. We do need a producer.
We need both.
Yeah.
We don't need a producer. The thing is right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right.
It's not like we played interviews or.
We did a couple interviews last time.
But yeah, not often.
Oh yeah. See, look, Sandy says all good. Look, see.
Look, yeah. See, he's reevaluating all the times that you not replying to it.
Come on, man.
I'm letting him in.
It's tax. World. It's tax season. I've been trying to do taxes. Haven't done my taxes. I'm too turned up, like Drake says.
I haven't done my taxes either.
You know what I'm saying? You done your taxes?
No, sir. I'm gonna file an extension.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I've read that if you file an extension, you're less likely to get audited by the IRS because they feel like if you take more time to do your taxes, then you'll go and garner more exemptions. You'll be more accurate with your return.
There you go. The more you know. For everybody on our watch party, file an extension. All right, so let's get into this combine talk a little bit. I mean, I watched a little bit last night. The running backs. To me, the whole combine thing is
Dog and pony show?
Yeah, right. It's a dog and pony show. There's not a whole lot to it. I mean, yeah, it's fun to see, who runs the fastest, who gets the most reps on the 225, who does the broad jump. They do all these, drills with the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. And I mean, you get to see, I think the most you get out of it is the quarterbacks throwing the ball. That's to me.
And that's not even the top quarterbacks who are throwing the ball. It's really like the guys who are probably going to go in the 3rd and 4th to 5th round, because Joe Burrow and Tua really didn't throw.
Yeah. And
Herbert and Jalen Hurts made dabble in the second.
Yeah, they did a little bit. I watched a little bit of them two throw the ball. Pretty impressive. But the running backs last night, I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to say, because they don't have pads on. There's nobody chasing them. It's not game speed. I mean, I can't really get anything. I mean, I guess I'm just not a trained eye on this. So
I think the combine is more for those players that are on the bubble.
Okay.
Like those guys that are fighting for a combine invite. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that need to go to the combine and show out. I mean, we're starting to see more and more top tier players not even participate. Like Kyler Murray didn't participate. Joe Burrow is not throwing at the combine. Chris Young isn't doing anything at the combine, because it's these guys that are projected so high. Why would you? All you can do is hurt your stock and not help it, really.
Yeah.
Because if Joe Burrow goes and runs a Paul 40 time, that's everyone's going to reevaluate that. But for guys like Jordan Love, that a lot of people haven't seen, the guy from Utah State. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's maybe you're not learning anything about him, but you're being able to hear these guys talk about them. Because I think that's another thing that's part of the combine that is really underrated, is listening to these experts, listening to these former players break down these guys that you don't watch on a regular basis. Jalen Hurts, a lot of the stuff that they say about them, you've already heard. Joe Burrow, the stuff they say about him, you've already heard. But these guys that you don't watch much of, Brian Lewerke from Michigan State, some of these other running backs, Chase Claypool from Notre Dame. Texas didn't play Notre Dame this year, so you didn't really watch much Notre Dame.
Right.
Guys like that, I think you're being able to put them on your radar and find out more about them. And you were talking about the 40 time. That's another thing is we've seen the trend that if you break records, if you are sub 3 or sub 4.3, you're probably going to help your draft stock, whether that be move you up substantially or get you drafted at all. But we really haven't seen that translate into on the field production. Let me find it again.
The 40 times.
Yeah.
I thought the one of the notable 40 times was Devin Duvernay, Longhorn wide receiver. I think it was 4.39. Mm-hmm. He turned some heads with that. Yeah. So, that might, for him in particular, they talk about guys on the bubble, like you said, guys might be, mid-rounders or late rounders. All of a sudden, Devin Duvernay might be on somebody's list because of that 40.
But I think what was a bummer for him is the fact that he ran in that first group, and his 4.39 or whatever that was, 4.39 was the fastest in his group. So that was the buzz was Devin Duvernay, this guy from Texas. Look at his stats. He caught so many passes. And then that second group comes, and you got Henry Ruggs time. You got other guys running around the same time as Devin Duvernay. It really kind of took off some of the allure from his really good time. No one was really talking about that as much. We heard about it because we live here in Austin, but the national buzz wasn't really about Devin Duvernay anymore because he ran so long ago and people are already starting to pass him up.
Yeah.
But I have this graphic here on my phone. The fastest 40-yard dasher since 2003. And as I read these names off, try to think of the production that they had, or even if they're still in the NFL.
Right.
So 2017, we had John Ross run a 4.22.
Okay.
He's been pretty much a bust in Cincinnati. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, and when he is, he's not really. Yeah,
he's one of those guys you pick up and drop weekly.
Chris Johnson, East Carolina, 4.24. He's probably had the most production out of anybody, I'm going to say. 2014, Dree Archer from Kent State, 4.26.
Who?
He got drafted by the Steelers and didn't really do anything.
Right.
Jerome Mathis from Hampton, 4.26 in 2005. 2013, Marquise Goodwin, Texas, 4.27. I mean, he's on a Super Bowl championship team. He's probably had the most production, second to Chris Johnson,
right.
But he doesn't stay healthy.
Yep.
2005, cornerback Stanford Route from Houston, 4.27. 2003, Tyrone Calico, Middle Tennessee, 4.27. 2017, Jalen Myrick, Minnesota, 4.28. 2015, J.J. Nelson, UAB, 4.28. 2010, Jacoby Ford, Clemson, 4.28.
And none of those names, like, you say, oh, yeah, that guy's a superstar now.
Yeah, and then you had, like you mentioned earlier, Henry Ruggs just ran the 4.27 yesterday. So it's like, do these track guys really transfer to the NFL? I mean, I don't really think so right now.
Yeah. The 40 time, and when you're looking at the 40 time, I mean, I don't know. They were showing these little graphics on the NFL Network, or they would show like a transposition of like Ezekiel Elliott and some other people, like, you know, with the guy that's running currently and how faster these guys were. And you look, there was one where it was Ezekiel Elliott, and he was like the slowest out of the three that they were showing. But I mean, we're talking about Zeke. He's one of the top running backs in the NFL. So it's like, all right, that kind of brings more credence to what Zach is saying, is like, this stuff is not for the top guys, but for the guys on the bubble. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the combine, like you said, Paul, dog and pony show. But is there anybody in the running back position in particular, Paul, that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor did, running back from Wisconsin, back-to-back a Y2K runner, 2,000 yards the back-to-back 2 years that he at Wisconsin. But that's what they do. They run the rock. Really in inclement weather. They're an outdoor team, so they play a lot of football outdoors. And, in Big Ten country, even though there's not 10 teams in that league, they are a offensive line and running back driven league, and so outside of Ohio State. But getting back to the point, I think he really helped his time because he ran a 4.39, and a guy with that much power and facing that much type of competition, I think his draft stock rose even more. But there's not a premium right now in the running back position in the NFL, and so that's going to be really difficult when you're splitting carries. But to me, the guy looked like an all-purpose back, an APB, especially running that 4.39 and having the hands and the skills drills whenever they were running routes and catching out of the backfield. I think he did a really great job. The third and most, in my opinion, the most important part is like blocking in the backfield, picking up blitz, being able to recognize those things. You really didn't see that at Wisconsin. So that's going to be, I think, a really big piece that people will get to evaluate once they get to, maybe interviews, because you're not really going to get that ability to see on tape if he can do that type of job. Maybe there's some cognitive tests that he's going to go through that they can identify those factors. But right now, that's a big missing link. But I think his 40 time with the 4.39 at that size really, really gives him a big boost at that position going into this 2020 draft.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends.
But I mean, he goes from being the best running back in the draft to being the best running back in the draft.
I think DeAndre Swift is the best running back in the draft at Georgia.
But I mean, and those two guys are interchangeable. I mean,
but it's millions of dollars that we're talking about, depending on where they get drafted. We're not talking about going from round 1 to round 2. We're talking about going from maybe a top 20 pick to a top 10 pick.
But I just don't think him running a fast 40 at the combine is gonna. If he's behind DeAndre Swift, I don't think that's going to move him up, because DeAndre Swift ran a good time.
Yep.
I don't think him catching passes out of the backfield in shorts is going to move him up more than his tape. I just don't think for those top tier guys. I mean, if I was Jonathan Taylor, I wouldn't have gone to the combine.
Yeah,
because I just feel like you have more of a, like, if he ran the 40-yard dash and fell, if he didn't catch any passes out of the backfield, all of a sudden he can't catch, but he's still Y2K or whatever Paul said. Like, I just think that the combine drills. I heard an interview earlier this week with the GM from the Chargers, and he said that they're there for the 40s. They're there for the interviews, and after that they leave. They're like, we can watch the rest of the stuff from our hotel from TV, because it's not something they really need to see. Like, they'd rather watch the tape instead.
So is this more for the fans?
No.
It's more for the bubble guys, or more for Paul.
Yeah, fans. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, I mean, For me, it's almost like it's.
I think if they make some changes, it will be for the fans. Like, you know, I was watching
They should play dodgeball like they do in the All-Star weekend.
what was that? What's that movie called? Dodgeball, where they're what's that team called? Can't think off the top of my head. Anyways, I was watching the podcast from Pat McAfee, and anyways, Rich Eisen was the guy who pitched to basically film and broadcast the combine, and he's talking about there's a lot of rumors where people want to see guys run 40s against each other. Then I think that's where you start bringing in more fans to say, hey, let's watch these guys compete. But right now I think it's all about, this is just a formality to say, hey, let's measure these guys so that we can justify paying them millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking rookie contracts here, so it's not like, you know, it's a whole lot, right? I mean, you don't really get paid in the NFL until after your rookie contract is up. So, I mean, I think, you know, and then when we talk, we're moving on to the quarterbacks, you know, like you said, I mean, Tua Tagovailoa wasn't participating because of the hip. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be cleared for action until I think March 9th, they said. Joe Burrow didn't throw. So those top two guys aren't there. So, I mean, you get Herbert and Hurts. Those were the biggest names that you saw throw, right? I mean, Jordan Love. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, those were the guys that were there throwing the ball, and the only person that I thought did okay was Justin Herbert. He did okay.
Yeah.
But for me, like, the biggest thing is, like, these guys are going to be maybe second round, maybe late first round quarterbacks that get picked up, but I don't think anybody tremendously improved their draft stock, personally.
The only thing I really noticed was the difference between Herbert and Hurts was a little bit. Hurts maybe had a little bit of a wind up. And I was talking about it with Snoop last night. We were watching. They were showing some highlights on the combine. Hurts maybe just had a little bit of, kind of brought back the ball just a little bit.
I mean, I think Herbert just has a lot more like effortless velocity on his ball.
Yeah, he was able to just go, you know, not so much of a wind up, but kind of just straight up and then throw. You know, when you're talking about releasing the ball in the NFL, you got to do it really fast. You know, so I think just small things like that might be a factor in where these guys go as far as, you know, in the scout side. Because really, I mean, we have our opinions, but it's what the scouts are seeing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think Herbert has been a guy that I liked coming out of Oregon. So I mean, I think his draft stock is only going up. And you've seen the Redskins talk about trading back. You've seen the Giants talk about trading back. So there's opportunity for some teams to make some moves to get up to the top to possibly steal one of these quarterbacks. And I think Utah State, Jordan Love, I think he's going to be probably the steal of the draft, in my opinion. And you know, we won't know this for a couple years, but in my opinion, I just think from what I've seen him, you know, in his game and the game tape, he's been, to me, one of those guys that I think can really make that transition to the NFL.
So you're saying he's going to be a steal like Tom Brady, or is he going to be a steal like Dak Prescott?
Maybe like, I don't know. How far down was Ben Roethlisberger?
He got drafted in the second round.
It's not too far down.
I think.
But I mean, second round for a quarterback. I
see Herbert in that kind of role, Ben Roethlisberger role. But I'm not very high on Jordan Love. I mean, I know the dude can sling the ball, but the level of competition he faced at Utah State just, to me, does not translate.
The level of competition that Ben Roethlisberger faced in college.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio.
At NC State.
The level of competition.
I'm sorry,
he was Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio.
Joe Flacco, Delaware. I mean, I don't know. I just think that, you know, I personally just think that he's a really good quarterback. And I think, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and then the wide receivers, I didn't really get to see any of the wide receivers.
I did.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
I want to talk about just some more notable things I saw when watching the quarterbacks. So notable
quarterbacks,
notable news. Quarterbacks. Anthony Gordon, the quarterback from Washington State, cut his hair.
Okay.
Jake Fromm didn't look great.
Jake from State Farm.
Oh, he signed a deal with them.
Oh, did he?
He's legit. Jake Fromm, State Farm now.
Okay, Jake from State Farm. Okay.
He didn't look great on the muscle shirt. Didn't look great.
I heard he flipped the ball a lot.
He always said you ready to go to the receivers before he snapped the ball.
Didn't like that.
I think he was just trying to sound country.
Okay.
He ran a 5.1. Didn't look great in the little shirt. Needs a tan.
Okay.
Didn't really appealing to the eye.
Gym tan laundry.
Jacob Eason, quarterback from Washington, formerly from Georgia. That guy has a cannon.
Yeah.
That guy has a cannon. He looks huge. This says he's 6'5", 6'5" and 7/8, 231 pounds. And Justin Herbert is 6'6" and 2/8, 236 pounds. But Jacob Eason just looks huge.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be a steal in draft as well. And then comparing Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts, 40-yard dash, 4.68 to Jalen Hurts, 4.59. Jordan Love, 4.74. And then vertical jump, Justin Herbert, 35.5. Jalen Hurts, 35. Jordan Love, 35.5. Okay. So I think they're big size differences between those three guys, but the athleticism I think is there. And I think Justin Herbert, once he gets to the next level, is going to show people that he can move around a little bit more than he needed to at Oregon. But we were talking about those quarterbacks and where they fall. I think there's 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are your 4?
Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love.
Okay. And
probably in that order as well.
Okay. Opinion on that?
I like Tua and Burrow early. I don't know about Love in the end, but
right.
I think Herbert gets picked up.
Okay. And I really, like I said, I mean, like we said, the Redskins and Giants are both in the top 5, I believe, and are both talking about going back. So, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how many quarterbacks, not only in the first round, but heck, who is going up, moving up to try to grab a quarterback. I think this is a pretty good class. I haven't heard great things about it, but I think it's a pretty good class of quarterbacks.
I think what we've seen from like the Patriots and the Dolphins is you can move quarterbacks. Like you can use them as trade bait. You can get picks out of them. You can get players that you need out of them, especially young guys. If you take a guy like Jordan Love, who didn't play any competition, like if you can train him a little bit, let him sit under a guy and let him perform well in the preseason or let him perform well in a couple games in the regular season, you can ship him off that offseason. Someone will give you a pretty penny.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, wide receivers. I didn't really get to see any. Paul, start us off.
Denzel Mims from Baylor, 6'3", 207. I think he did a really good job. He moved up to the first round. Mm-hmm. Other than that, Justin Jefferson from LSU, I think having a really good quarterback in Joe Burrow that, of course, ran off and won a national championship really was a benefit for him. I think that's also something that his 40 time kind of boosted his draft stock as well. But those two guys, the guys that really stuck out for me.
All right. Zach?
Yeah, I think Chase Claypool from I'm pretty sure his first name is Chase Claypool from Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys that size-wise can play either wide receiver or tight end, almost like a lesser DK Metcalf, where he's big-bodied, but can move well enough to play outside a wide receiver or inside a wide receiver, but has the size and physicality to play tight end. So I think that's what the NFL is starting to turn to put these bigger receivers in the slot, let these bigger receivers come inside and block a little bit. So I think he's going to be an interesting name to watch early in the draft as well.
That could be a transition. You just mentioned DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. We saw Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. Real big physical wide receivers. And if they're transitioning that type of wide receiver to that, that body type, yeah, then a guy like that could be, somebody that's going to move up in the draft because somebody wants a DK Metcalf or a Deebo Samuel type of player, and if you got a guy that fits that mold physically, you can, teach him how to do other things on the football field. So
Chase Claypool, 6'4", 238 pounds, 32.5-inch wingspan, almost 10-inch hands, 4.42 in the 40, 19 reps on the bench, 40.5-inch vertical, which is huge, and then 126 inches in the broad jump. So they haven't done any of like the shuttles and stuff yet, but I think that's a great day for him.
Yeah, and I think
40.5 inches on the vertical is crazy.
Yeah, and that's what to me the vertical is probably what I'd be looking at a lot if I'm a scout looking at wide receivers. I mean, you got to get up and get the ball. I mean, sometimes your quarterback gets flushed out the pocket and he just needs to throw the ball up.
You know what I hadn't seen? Are you okay, Paul? Are we not talking about something you want to talk about?
Bro, I'm listening, man.
You look all.
It's called focus.
The one thing I noticed in this draft, in this combine that I feel like I hadn't seen before, was the quarterbacks throwing fades to receivers. They set up those cones to like resemble an end zone, and they were throwing fades to them and making them get 2 feet in bounds. And that's where we saw that crazy catch from CeeDee Lamb, and as we saw some other great catches by guys. But I don't remember seeing that. I remember seeing all the slants and the posts and the corners and the deep ball. But I don't remember. I mean, it was probably 15 and 20 yards away, and it's just a fade, like an end zone fade. So I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I hadn't watched enough combine in the past.
That's something new that I also saw yesterday. That maybe they're just trying to get some highlights or get more content.
Yeah,
make it more fan friendly. That's the only thing that's
because they have started to move it more into the primetime time slots on TV as well.
Yeah, and is there a reason why it's always in Indianapolis?
I have no clue.
Oh, that's where the combine was invented.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was
because they used to do it. The Indianapolis Colts. They used to have combine for the horses, and that's where they would choose the horses for the races. Was at a Lucas Oil Stadium before it used to be a horse track. And so once the NFL started in 1891,
and he knows all this because of the emblem on his cat.
Are
you just making a freestyling right now?
No. I read an article.
Okay.
So, but when the NFL started in 1714, they decided to move the horses to Kentucky, where they have the Kentucky Derby now.
Okay.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And it replaced that combine because that's how they found the best horses. So they were trying to find the best players, and that's where they used to do it.
Yeah, and it was invented by Mr. Lucas of Lucas Oil.
No,
it wasn't.
No, it was
that's
Mr.
what
Oil.
I read.
That was James Oil.
James Oil. Okay, invented by James Oil. I forgot. Yeah, see, I missed.
He's the guy that invented Lucas, that Mexican little powder that you put.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. And some notable things come out of this combine. Like Paul's over there looking.
I was just wondering what was happening. Like, what was happening when they were doing the combine at the RCA Dome?
The RC car dome? Those are electronic cars.
Yeah. They had the RC car in that dome, and then they moved the combine there to like. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, if you know, why don't you answer Chris's question?
Well, I was letting you go. That's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, man, Zach, this sounds like really like inside information here, like stuff you don't get on NFL.com, like stuff you don't get on like these big time networks.
You only get it here at Recon Athlete on leap year day. All right, some notable things that I wanted to mention. Actually, Sandy mentioned it on our watch party. Was punter Michael Turk out of Arizona State, 25 reps of 225 pounds.
Dang.
Yeah, punter.
Yeah, he was trying to show out, which he did.
I mean, what does that do for the punter though? I guess it puts people's name. I'm talking about it now. People talked about it. They wrote an article about it on ESPN. CBS,
do you think that?
But yeah, he's just.
It makes sense whenever you have these like really badass highlights where punters are taking out, guys who are returning the ball after they get through all the, all the guys blocking,
and it's just like
it's just one of those things where they just throw their weight around, and this guy was throwing some. 225, man, that's a lot of weight.
That's a lot, dude.
That ain't ain't nothing to sneeze at.
I was just talking about Chase Claypool did 19.
Yeah.
So do y'all think if everyone's tape was equal, everyone had the exact same stats, except for him who had 25 reps on the bench, do you think he gets taken earlier?
Oh yeah.
He won't be Mr. Irrelevant. I know that.
Yeah,
he won't be the last.
But now
take away the fact that he's a punter.
Like I don't know if this guy is a freaking Ray Guy Award winner or whatever. Like I don't know where he fell in the punting draft boards. Like, do you think that moves him up at all?
What school is he out of?
Arizona State. He's the only.
Yes.
He was
just because it's a Pac-12 school. Yes.
He's the only kicker or punter to take part in the bench press.
Yes.
Oh well, I don't know if that helps at all. Now he just looks like a douche.
So this dude just straight up goes to practice, and then after he's done punting like 100 balls a day, he goes in and just reps 225.
He did more, and I'm reading.
He just does chest and tries every day.
I'm reading this.
That's it.
I'm reading this off of ESPN.com. That's more reps than Jadeveon Clowney, who had 21. DeMarcus Lawrence, who had 20. Devin White had 22. Chandler Jones had 22. Michael Bennett had 24 in 2009.
Does it say his arm length? Because I wonder if he's a short dude or like he's got some height.
He's 6 foot. He's 6 foot and a half.
So
he's 6 foot.
He's a normal human being.
He weighs 226 pounds, and he bench pressed pretty much his body weight 25 times.
This dude just goes to class, eats like a son of a gun, and goes and works out. That's all this fool does.
So
protein and punts. His brand.
Very good. I like that, protein and punts.
We need to copyright that and make t-shirts. Hey, can you bench press 225 pounds?
No.
Paul, could you do that right now?
I'll give you 10. I'll give you 10.
I don't think you could do 10.
Word. Let's start documenting all this stuff, like writing it down.
So we're doing. Where's my pen? So we're doing the baseball.
You got a computer.
No, I don't do things. I do things on. I'm old school.
So that way he can lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I put it on my desk.
I forgot about it.
Yes. We're doing the baseball. We're going to try to hit 80 mile an hour pitch. I did find a batting cage that will.
Okay. I've seen all this stuff that you've posted. The first dude said 85.
No, it was 80.
Fine, 85. What's 5 more miles an hour? I know it's a big deal, but can it go 85?
And I asked him because I mean it's let's say it's an indoor batting cage, but and I asked him, I said, well, how fast can y'all get the pitch? And I told him, I was like, hey, Chris Sanchez, I do a podcast and we got this bet going on, blah blah blah. Yeah. And he said we can. He
said, "Oh, you're Chris Sanchez."
Yeah, he was like, "Dude, can I get an autograph when you get here?
Can you give me Snoop's autograph?"
Picture, yeah, that's pretty much what he said. But he did say that they can simulate the 85 miles per hour with the reaction time. So because it's
he's going to move it up.
Yeah, well, it's a short cage.
It's not the full.
Yeah, it's not so they can put it to where it's going to be 85 miles per hour. But then we can try to get out to maybe a gym somewhere. I can go to La Fitness. We can go to my gym. I can talk to Matt. He's the GM over there, a friend of mine. He'll probably let us go out there and try to see how many 225-pound reps that Paul can do. Because I mean, I'm saying
you're not going to get in it.
Dude, I'm not. I can't do 10.
Can you do 2?
I can maybe do 10.
That's 2 plates.
I
know you have 2 plates every time you eat.
And
we're talking about
right. You goddamn right I do, baby.
So I'm gonna say, dude, I haven't put up. Okay, so when I work out, I do light
CrossFit.
Weights. Do light weights. CrossFit. No, I don't do CrossFit.
I
do hit high intensity, and so
I need to do something.
I haven't put 225 pounds on a bench in years, but when I used to, I could do 12 to 15.
Yeah, that's probably back when the combine was at the RC car dome.
Yeah, it was. So we're gonna do those 2 things. So. Getting back to this combine talk, we're always getting into these tangents here. The other notable thing.
You okay there, buddy?
Yeah.
Maybe they should get this punter to give his gunners a boost.
Yeah, just be like,
just push him to get a head start, and then he'll push him 50 yards down the field.
Maybe. This other thing, I wanted to mention Mekhi Becton. He was the offensive tackle. He ran a 5.1 40.
Dude. Tell him how big he is.
He is
6'7",
6'7", 364 pounds.
Do you think people tell Jake Fromm that?
What?
Who ran like a 5'1" as well?
Yeah. I ain't running. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm running a 7'1". I ain't running no 5'1".
Fastest 40 time. I told Snoop this last time.
I don't think you could sprint 40 yards.
Word. Bet. I got a hundy on it right now.
My fastest 40 time ever was 4.7.
I got something. Can you do a ladder drill?
What is that, like the feet thing?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So fastest 40
but
times.
I mean, look at me and look at you,
baby. I got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to drive this bus here. You guys aren't letting me. My fastest 40 time ever was 4 foot.
Can you climb up a ladder?
Yes, slowly.
Man, this is all great stuff.
And we need 2 people on each side to brace it.
Yeah, two of you.
2 of me. 2 of me.
Now, Zach, I know you were a baseball player. I know you ran 60s. Did you ever run 40s?
No, but I always remember at Pflugerville High School, I had friends that played there, and they used to have part of their conditioning was they had to run 40s in a day, just bang them out.
40s?
Yeah.
So in succession?
Like you would go, and then everyone else would have to go, and then you'd go again, and everyone else would have to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think the most I ever did was like 600s. So like up and back was 1.
Yeah. So Do you don't know? You don't know what time.
I don't remember my times and stuff though.
Would you guesstimate that it was below 5?
For if I ran a 40?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it was all 60s, and I ran pretty good times in 60s. So
okay, I would put you about where I'm at, about 4.7. That was my fastest one ever.
Yeah.
Did you ever run 40? What was your fastest time?
Broke out the
40.
sundial. That son of a bitch was. No, man.
Fleeville was running 40/40s, and Paul got a 40 on the 40.
I was running a solid 5.3. That's the best time I got.
All right. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to mention, kind of something that just came out of the combine stuff, was the TCU lineman Ross Blacklock was didn't know that he had 37 parking tickets.
What?
At TCU? Now they were all paid.
What team told him that?
The Raiders.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course it's the
Isn't
Raiders.
that confidential information?
I guess not.
No.
The
Raiders subpoena?
They're on campus. They were on campus parking tickets, and apparently they were all paid. And so I'm kind of like thinking, if he didn't know about it, and they were all paid, like who paid them? I mean, he was just like he was surprised.
Sometimes questions we
just don't ask those questions
They
anymore.
just were paid.
They just were paid.
They were paid.
He had 37 parking tickets that he had no clue that he had.
It's like insurance. You can have insurance. That doesn't mean you're paying for insurance. And it doesn't matter who's paying for it.
Yeah.
So funny parking ticket story. In high school, I never bought a parking pass. And they would always give me tickets. But they never knew whose car it was because I didn't have my car registered. So I never had to pay the tickets. Until one time, the girl I was dating at the time, it was like baseball tryouts, like my senior year. She came and put all these notes on my car, like "Have a good season, Zach." Like "You're the best, Zach." Yeah. Like and all this candy and stuff. And I knew the guy that gave tickets because I was like an office aide or whatever, and he was in the same office, and I knew him. And so the car said my name on it, so he was able to know that it was my car. So he booted my car and called me out of baseball class. I had to go to his office. And I had like $160 in tickets, but he said I could give his kid a private lesson for outfield, and he would take off all the tickets.
So hold on a minute. You got knocked out by your girl, and you got out of it by giving a private lesson.
Yeah,
Jesus,
by outfield.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right, so wrap up this combine thing. Of course, Tua and Joe Burrow, the top two quarterbacks, did not participate in the combine. I think Herbert helped his stock a little bit. You said you liked, who was it, Jacob Eason?
Yeah, I like Jacob Eason.
I liked Jordan Love and Paul.
I'm high on Herbert, but I don't. It's going to be somebody having to come get him late in the first.
Yeah, and Jonathan Taylor. Basically between Jonathan Taylor and DeAndre Swift as far as the top running backs go.
Do you think both of them go in the first round?
I think 3 go in the first round.
3 running backs?
Cam Akers out of Florida State.
Okay.
I think it's going to be those 3.
Okay.
I want to try a little exercise here.
Mm-hmm. I'm not good with that.
How would y'all argue taking Tua over Joe Burrow?
Ooh.
I don't know if I could.
If you had to. You had to.
I don't.
To go to Cincinnati?
To just
overall.
Overall.
I haven't thought about it. I wouldn't even consider it, just because of what Joe Burrow is done. I don't know.
Let's table that and do that Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I need some time to research.
So what if
I got a case?
So I stole this from another podcast. What if I come with something to argue and I assign you're arguing this side and you're arguing this side? Do you think y'all could do that?
We can do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was good in debate class.
I bet. Master.
Wide receivers. You said Chase Claypool was your guy. And
I like Denzel Mims.
Denzel Mims
at Baylor. Yeah.
At Baylor. Okay. All right.
Although I think
Denzel Mims ran.
He be riding on rims.
Ran the second group, and he ran the same time as Devin Duvernay.
I think he's just a really dark horse that because he played at Baylor and they had this transition and all the stuff going around Baylor, I think it's just a really big dark horse that he's gonna ball out. He's gonna be like, I think, an AJ Brown.
Okay. All right, so that'll wrap up our combine talk, and they're still doing the combine today, right?
Yeah.
So some more combine.
They
stuff.
haven't had any defensive people, right?
Yeah. Some more combine stuff. Believe it's on NFL Network. If you want to check that out, I'll probably check that out this afternoon, just to because there's not really much going on. All right, let's get on to our Longhorns and Aggies talk here on Recon Athlete Podcast, episode 56. Once again, Chris Sanchez, Zach Lucero, Paul Rodriguez, Snoop Daniel over in the green room hanging out. All right, Paul, you mentioned this in the messenger. You wanted to talk about where we thought the Aggies and Longhorns are in our top 25. I don't even have a top 25 to begin with, but me personally, I think the Longhorns should be somewhere between 15 and 20. Somewhere because I think consistently over the years, just the name on the front of the jersey has given them
about that. Yeah.
It's all about that.
It's given them about that in the draft, like 15 to 20.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like I'm ranking them around there. Basically because they are getting Sam back. You got a great, you got your quarterback, your leader, your senior leader, and you got some guys that are coming back, and you're coming off a big bowl win. Of course, they came off a big bowl win last year, but I just don't have that big of expectations just yet for this Longhorn team. So I'm putting them between 15 and 20. Zach?
If it were up to me, I would put them between 23 and unranked.
That's where they are right now.
That's where I would put them.
Yeah.
But because of last year, when you coming off that Georgia win, they were like top 10. So I think they're going to be ranked really, really high to start the season.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because of that Utah win.
That's kind of where I'm going with the 15 to 20. It's like
it wasn't. I'm saying 10 to 15.
They're going to put them. That's where they're going to put them. I'm thinking like maybe not me personally, but I'm just thinking that's where they're going to be, where they start between that. Paul?
I think the big humble pie this past year was the injury bug, and for we don't have an insight into the Longhorns kind of ongoing training camp that they have in the offseason training camp, but their Instagram page kind of gives you a little bit of an insight to it, and I've kind of been following them, and ever since that win over Utah in the Alamo Bowl, they just started training outside more, and I think that to create a new culture. And potentially Tom Herman's last year, he's trying to get these dudes a little more hard because they played real soft. And I think that coming into this next year, they're going to have to play. They're going to play their asses off, man, because I don't think that Tom Herman can survive another 8 and whatever season they ended up with. But right now I see Texas similar to what you're at. I think they're between 15 and 20. And that's just solely based off of what they're going to have coming back and Sam coming into his his senior year. If Sam can deliver the ball more consistently, I think they have a huge leg up. But, man, they have to stay healthy on the defense side of the football.
Yeah, well, back in early January, I guess maybe just after the national championship game, Sporting News came out with a way too early top 25, and they had them at number 13. So, I mean, I think that's kind of what we're talking about. And you're saying 23 or unranked,
right? But this is what I would rank them. But I think when the first rankings come out, they'll be between 10 and 15.
Okay, and that's that's about right.
I mean, because I think bringing back a quarterback is something they factor in heavily into these things. I think recruiting class they factor in heavily.
Bijan Robinson, is he going to start? And do you think he pushes?
No, I don't think he starts. I think he plays.
Okay.
Is he a healthy Bijan Robinson?
We're going to find out in probably spring ball.
Maybe not right away, but he's a guy that could probably.
You're bringing back Keontae Ingram. He'll trot out. He'll be in the first play.
Yeah.
You convince Roschon Johnson to stay at running back, and you're bringing in Bijan Robinson. So I think between those guys, it's going to be Roschon Johnson, who had probably the best season last year. That's going to end up being the odd man out in terms of carries.
I'd like to see him at slot. I'd like to see him transition.
Or do you move Jordan Whittington to slot permanently?
Yeah, you have to.
Well, depending on what their personnel is.
And you already got that white dude, Jake Smith, at slot. There's not very many slots out there.
So we got so much so there's so much talent at UT. Some guys are just going to be left out, and I understand that's the University.
That's
of Texas,
how it goes normally.
But at the same time, it's like you got to put your best players on the field. You got to figure that out. That's Herman's job.
Yeah, and so I mean, I guess maybe the question that's just came to pop in my mind. I mean, Jake Smith or Jordan Whittington. I mean, who do you go with?
I mean,
like
both.
Whittington.
And both if you
Put them out both sides.
right.
Okay.
And I think if because they also are bringing back Joshua Moore as well, who missed the season because he got caught up with a gun charge or something. But he's supposed to be coming back as well, and he was the slot before. I mean, they were really scrambling once he was not going to play this year to put Jordan Whittington or Jake Smith or Epps in a slot because they were missing Josh Moore. So. I mean that's 4 guys.
It would be great if they could all learn, those positions of the wide out, from the X to the Y, tiger position. I mean, the flex. It would really be awesome so that they could just be, they could be such a dangerous group of athletes that you really don't know who you can match up against, because they would probably beat anybody that lined up against them outside of schools like LSU or Ohio State, because those guys just produce DBs every single year to the NFL.
All right, so wrapping it up for the Longhorns, we think I'm saying 15 to 20. Paul, you're saying 15 to 20. Zach saying 10 to 15. That's where they start. Probably not where they deserve to start.
Right.
Yeah.
But where the press will give them. All right. The Aggies, they finished outside the top 25 in the polls last year. I'm not a big Aggie fan, so I don't really watch a whole lot of them. So I'm going to kind of lean on Paul on this. Talk a little bit about the Aggies and where you think they're going to be.
But before we go on Burn Orange Nation, they have like an updated chart going into spring. And so if you remember that Bijan Robinson isn't there yet. He didn't enroll early. So this has Brennan Eagles and Alvonte Woodard at the X. Alvonte Woodard, I'm really excited to see him play. He's done really great in camps and in videos that they send out and stuff, but he's just never been able to crack that elite talent that they've had there at the top. And in the slot, they have Jake Smith and Jordan Whittington. And then at the Z, they have Josh Moore and Marcus Washington. So moving Josh Moore outside. I think that could open up more opportunity for the slot. And then Cade Brewer, Malcolm Epps, who they moved to tight end at the Y.
All right. And all that will probably change.
For sure.
All right, Paul, start us off with the Aggie football talk.
Texas A&M Aggies, they'll let you down. They're really good at that, just like most teams in the state of
Just
Texas.
like Texas.
Just like Longhorns.
Exactly. And so
And the Cowboys.
yeah.
And the Astros.
Astros.
Dallas Stars. I don't know.
So getting back to A&M with Jimbo Fisher, look, man, I don't like Kellen Mond. I don't think he has enough to get it done. I'd really like to see Hayes King compete with him, but I don't know if that'll happen this year. But Jimbo Fisher, I think this is going into his 3rd or 4th year. You got to get something done. And I understand they compete in the SEC West with a lot of top dogs coming off a national championship in LSU. But, bro, you got to get something done. And I like them to come in the season between 10 and 15. And the biggest thing that I see for them is all of the skill set in the running back position and Kellen Mond coming into his 4th year as a senior. In that system, I just don't think he's able to garner the complex scenarios that Jimbo throws at him, and that's why you kind of see him get quick feet in the pocket and try to roll out and move the ball down the field, but he doesn't have the arm talent to get it there. And so I just think that they have a really elite defense. You're competing with some NFL caliber athletes week in, week out in the SEC West. Get tuned up, with your early games against Lamar's and the FCS schools, the no-names, because once SEC West ball starts, downhill quick. You'll probably drop out of the top 20 and then fight to get back in. But, when they start playing the Kentuckys, the Vanderbilts, the SEC East or the SEC East division opponents, they climb back in the rankings. But outside of LSU, Georgia, and Alabama, I don't know how competitive they can really be.
Yeah. And last year, and I got this off of SI.com. Last year they won, and then we talked about it, during the season as well. They won the games that they were supposed to win, and they lost the games that they were supposed to lose. So off of SI.com, they won 8 of 9 games that they were a favorite, and they lost all 4 games that they were underdog. So they pretty much, went along with what Vegas thought that they should do.
Yeah.
And the games that they lost, the scores were kind of competitive, but the game, if you watched it, wasn't very competitive at all. But they did keep they did keep up with the big dogs a little bit as far as the score goes.
And see, their biggest thing is they're supposed to have the best quarterback coming into the SEC this year, but he doesn't give you any kind of security because we always see him fail. We always see him.
We said the same thing last year.
Give up big time. Well, I don't think anybody really knew Joe Burrow was going to do what he did.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We said the same thing about Kellen Mond last
coming
year.
into the season for sure. And so coming in, you're like, man, who's going to be the emerging star? Is it going to be somebody that we really don't know who transferred in 2 years ago? Is it going to be somebody who's a rookie? I mean, not a rookie, but who's a freshman or a true freshman? We don't really know. And so Kellen Mond's got everything in his favor. He's just got to perform. He really has bad performance issues.
All right, Zach.
I think A&M's in a really fortuitous spot. I mean, you almost, if you're A&M, you almost want to be accepting of another mediocre season to keep Kellen Mond there because Jimbo Fisher's going to keep his job because they just paid him so much money. Yeah. He's going to keep his job. It's not like Texas where Tom Herman's been on the hot seat. It's not situations like that. So you almost want to just hope that they keep Kellen Mond out there the whole year. Let Haynes King back him up. Let him get in when he can fit in. And then the following year, him be the day one starter. Let him learn under Kellen Mond because, all the negative things we say about Kellen Mond, he still started in the SEC for a long time. And then they're bringing in a quarterback out of Denton Guyer next year who could sit behind Haynes King. So I think they're in a really good spot with the security of their coach, the guys that they have on their roster. It's just this next year, I don't know if the performance is going to be there.
Okay. You think that receiver Dumas starts?
Oh yeah,
I think so too.
First day.
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't surprise me. He catches the first pass of the season.
Yeah, because they lost a lot of receivers, so that's they're going to be thin. So yeah,
for sure.
So he'll definitely see the field. All right, so Aggies. Where do you think?
Right behind Texas.
They start 10-15.
Right behind Texas.
Right behind Texas. Okay. All right. And I really don't have a whole lot.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they play in the college football playoff. I wouldn't be surprised either.
Okay.
I would be very surprised.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right, let's wrap this up. Episode 56 of Recon Athlete. We talked some combine, some too early top 25 for Horns and Ags. The combine is still going on this weekend, so go check that out on NFL Network. Got a shout out to Kreitz Market, our main sponsor. Also the social and Focus Fit San Marcos. And don't forget on April 26th down at Kreitz Market, we're going to have another live show. It's going to be me, Zach, Paul. Hopefully Snoop will be there. Maybe we can convince some other guests to show up as well. Paul?
No, I just want to say shout out to Miss Kara Harris. Been training for 2.5 weeks, finishing up this week. So just wanted to give her a shout out. New fan of the show.
Oh, okay. What are you training?
I'm doing some HHS training. MEPD, pretty complicated. Not really.
What is it? Health and Human Services?
Medicaid for elderly and disabled people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Get that, man. Get it. All right, Paul. Do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all enjoying the podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And tell us if Zach can press 225 one time down there. All right. Hit the bell on YouTube. We gone.